Es un hombre extraordinario.
Me impresiona mucho.
Pues sabes que yo creo que no es tanto el físico, es más bien la personalidad que tiene y todo lo que proyecta.
Ya me lo imagino con su smoking blanco, un martini en una mano y un costoso habano en la otra.
Provocativo. Atractivo.
A new stereophonic sound spectacular.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of HIP. This is a new departure in language instruction for English-speaking people who want to talk to and be understood by jazz musicians, hipsters, beatniks, juvenile delinquents, and the criminal fringe.
Bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur. Nous allons, grâce à ce disque créé spécialement pour vous, essayer de tirer ensemble le maximum de qualité sonore de votre chaîne haute fidélité.
Sit back, relax, and close your eyes.
Es Nolite Te Bastardes Carborundorum et surge sicut phoenix. Do not let the bastards grind you down. Instead, rise like a phoenix. Today we are Friday, December the 8th. We are entering in the sol minima, the most darkest time of our year for those who, like me, live in the northern hemisphere. I'm Alexandre Frédéric Joly, your co-chef. Welcome to the 133rd, yes, 133rd, 33 episode of the Dare Real Agile or Friday Live Agile. Well, today, it's the 133 Friday Live Agile since my lab in Tulum when I started it about 2 years and a half ago. But it's going to be also a special episode of the Dare Real Agile, and you're going to see why. So awake and agilize with AF, and like my old great friend and mentor Mike Beadle used to say, agilize everything, absolutely everything. Oh, it is. I'm so very happy to be before you, beautiful and amazing people, on this Friday, one more time. But you see, it's really dark. I got a fireplace, artificially, virtually, but it's warming my heart. I'm wearing a scarf because I like that. It's the artist in me who like to wear a scarf. Not too much. I'm very, very happy. In the last 2 weeks, I am having an amazing time with people. And it's been a while I didn't work in something else than Agile. And I realize I'm happier when I'm not doing something about Agile. Especially when those people are acting, breathing, living the adjective of Agile and the way they get together to have a cohesive vision, and they just co-create. They work with common sense and togetherness. And let me tell you one thing, they never use the word agile, but they truly are more agile than anybody that I know, especially in Montreal, who's still and always buzzing about it. So, I would like to welcome new subscriber, and especially on the YouTube channel of Agile Lounge by AFJ. It's about like 10 new people. A lot of people seem to look at older videos, even on X, not Twitter anymore, but X. Someone just liked and shared the episode 88 about customer experience. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, and there's another quote from Mike Beadle that I used to love in his classes of Enterprise Scrum for Business Agility. He used to say to the classes, it's easier, well, note it, it's easier to rise a unicorn. You could see a startup that will become billionaire in a year, but it's easier to breed a unicorn than to transform a dinosaur. And a lot of dinosaurs are dying, or they will die. As we mentioned somewhere in 2022 in one of these podcasts from yours truly, that the Agile people will be the only survivor. But the true real Agile people, like those I don't want to name yet, that I work with for the last 2 weeks, who are focusing on the customer experience and the employee experience. CX, EX, UX, PX, it's all the X. Agilize everything, like I've learned from Mike Beadle. And I miss him so much these days. Like I miss my mom so much these days. And we are entering in this week of the longest night in the Northern Hemisphere. And today, December the 8th, it's Les Lumières de Lyon, the Lion Lights. It's also close to Hanukkah and the celebration of the light. Yes, the light. It's hope right now in December. Breathe with me, breathe with me. It's the hope of every one of us being a phoenix, and it's the hope of our sun, the only Lord, the real Lord of sky and earth. It's the sun. All the other names are made up in this matrix of possibility. So I invite you to do like the 10 new subscriber on YouTube. And I lost one on Rumble, don't know why. But subscribe, hit the bell, hit the glove on Rumble. Let's make it happen. Not in quantity, but in quality. And if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, and all the other 30-some platforms, welcome once again. And I really appreciate you and everything that you send me as comment. Some little Bitcoin we call Satoshi, and especially the coffee. Yes. And if you'd like to do like them, all the links are in the description, especially on YouTube and Rumble, and also on any description of the podcast. You could send me a coffee to warm up my heart. And if you still want to know what my coaches and I could do for you, so become one of our clients at agile-launch.com. But even more importantly, the real me, the real stuff is on jollyaf.com. So go into jollyaf.com. Put it in the fire. Yes, I'm on fire. I'm so happy to this end of calendar year, to this darkness time for the renaissance that will happen starting Christmas and moving on January, February, March, spring, and all the way up until July. So that's the thing. And now let's go back to my Latin reflection. And of course, I read Latin. I don't speak it very well. Probably when I read Latin in my mind, it's kind of I speak a mix of Spanish and Italian. So maybe it's not a proper pronunciation, but yes. I want to talk about some interaction that I had in the last couple of weeks. And I won't name anybody, and I won't name whatever. There was interaction in live or video conference or what have you. and all this shebang and all these questions that people ask me directly or indirectly. So today, for this special episode of the Day Real Agile podcast about this Friday Live Agile, I'm with you in a fake live. I'm not really live because I'm serving my client, and my client works at 12 noon, but I don't care. And as a good real Scrum, I respect the cadence and the sustainability and the consistency of my promise. And it's also marketing, sort of, as an influencer on LinkedIn, linked out. And I don't even know if we are on LinkedIn now, because LinkedIn, we're up, we're down. It's not a video platform. But if you catch it on LinkedIn, what are you waiting for? Join us on YouTube and Rumble, the real video platform. And even though if you prefer to listen to me by doing your jogging or your spinning or your workout or your CrossFit, well, you have all the link to go to the dairyagile.com, and it's passing here down, and you could absolutely have it. It's mostly once a month, but now because of the holidays, a lot of people have more time, so we're going to produce a little bit more program. Oh, and by the way, on December the 29th, don't know what time yet, but it's going to be a Friday night live Agile, my own retro of 2023, and especially more onward 2024. It's going to be a special live, maybe with guests, maybe with people from the decentralized finance, and making some prediction and information and technology and business agility and conscious leadership and everything. Because we're going to look forward, a less retrospective, but a better moving onward 2024. Because let me tell you one thing, and I'm scared about it, because last time I did that from the Crew Collective in November of 2019, when I was saying that I was really enthusiastic about 2020 and what's coming, and we've been disrupted, right? But disrupt in a negative sense, negative lens, because yes, and let's see it right now. Why did I choose to name my 133 degree episode this Friday on the Lion Lights Agile Community, and this Latin beautiful phrase, Nolite Te Bastardes Carborundorum surge sicut phoenix. And again in English it means, do not let the bastards grind you down. Instead, rise like a phoenix. Be more powerful than those bastards. Because a meaningful and true Agile coach, or a coach, for instance, for a real retrospective, and to help you elevate yourself to be like a phoenix, to be a unicorn. Two things that doesn't exist, you'll say, who cares? Because a true coach will tell you what she and he is learning also from his experience, her experience. So the coach and the consultant, pay attention now. The coach and the consultant, with honesty, will tell you that transformation or even change is not good for everyone, and it's even worse for others. And yet, everyone approve of that, since it was obvious you couldn't be too careful of yourself as a fake coach, as a pretender, as someone who don't pay attention, who don't have an intent, and you mostly often, even aggressively passive, a bastard that grinned down the great idea of any innovation. I've seen it so many times, especially here in Montreal. And we'll come to that. Bear with me. Stay with me. Grab your coffee, and I'm going to say things that a lot of people don't want to hear. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. It's taboo. Yes, like diversity. Diversity and inclusion. I did it in French last week. Is it more intrusion? Why the hell an organization, small, medium, or large, but especially in a large organization, that they adopt this fakeness, this artificial caring, this lip service of DIE, because DEI must die, because we should concentrate on the real elevation of the people, putting our customer first, and those who work hard to serve our customer. I don't want to be higher for the color of my skin, my sexual choice and orientation, what I do in my bed, or anywhere else is none of your business. How many children that I have? Am I an orphan or not? What's my political view? What the hell does this have to do with doing business, with serving client? What is important, Agile Loungers? They're real Agilists. It's your passion. It's what you love. It's what you do that you build trust with. It's your skills that matters. Your competency. What you've learned. What you don't do again and again as a mistake because you've learned from it. What is your power? What is your superpower? What could you bring into this world to make it better for the larger number? So I don't care if you're from Africa, Asia, Latin America, Europe, your caramello, your chocolate, cappuccino. I don't care. I don't care if you prefer to eat pussy or dick. Yes, I will dare proceed and be bold. Wake the F up, guys and girls. Oh, now don't call me this. What is this? We are wasting our time. We have better things to do. And when I see these HR formula asking us questions about my sex life, when are we going to ask people, do you have a fetishes? Is that important? It's an intrusion. It's not inclusion. It's an intrusion into my life. And I despise you for that. It's none of your business. Hire me for what I've delivered before that I could repeat and even better, because my aim is to become a better person, a better version of myself as a consultant, as a customer experience designer, as a scrum master, as a product owner, as a developer, as everything that I have like skills that to deliver things. It have nothing to do about a community of Agile, a movement of this or that. It's have everything to do about how you rise up, you show yourself, and you're willing to help others uncover these other ways. And the real diversity will be first in the ideas that people have. I was in a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and people that were bragging about this diversity, inclusion, and equity, which I do kind of believe. I'm all for it. My issue now, like 85% of the fake Agile coach in the Agile world, is they are coaching Agile without being experienced in it. For Agile software development, it's even worse, because they are telling engineer almost what to do with judgment instead of being curious and just giving a process-driven as a leader who serve, because that's the thing. Scrum Master is no more a servant leader. She or he is a leader who serve. Do you see the big difference? If you don't see it and you don't understand substantion and you don't grasp the full potential of empirism, don't tell me you're a Scrum Master, and don't tell me you understand Scrum. You don't. If what I've just said, you don't understand, you don't understand. So anyway, so that was like they were bragging about this diversity bullshit. And oh yes, there were like a lot of people from different creed, different religion, different stuff. But when they did the open space, when it was time for the people who were invited in that open space to start proposing stuff, that was so boring. Everybody was in agreement. Everybody has a consensus. And it was the bad thing to do. It was the wrong way to approach an agile adoption. And the two coaches and I were in the back, letting the facilitator doing her stuff and the way people were interacting. And no, I could understand at some point, yes, an organization, a company have a goal, a product goal, a services goal, a solution goal, something really clear. I get it. And you need a cohesive vision. Yes, I get it. And you need an agreement of the majority to make it happen. Okay, I get it. But if you want to be an innovator, if you want to disrupt your market, if you want to smash to oblivion your competition, you need to be a bit divergent. You need to be a bit different. You need to let people have diverse ideas, challenging you. And that was not happening. And God, they needed it. But people were scared. People were invited by the business owner and the leadership, but they didn't take the opportunity of being a phoenix because they thought that they will be grinned down. Te Bastardes Carborundorum. That's mean the bastard that grinned you down. And that was not the case. They had the space and the full potential of showing their real diversity. But no. The speech before the open space from the pseudo people and culture, but it's like a wolf disguised in sheep. She were lip servicing about how great the team and the people in the room were from diverse country, ethnicity, sexual orientation, different background, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that was so diverse for what your eyes can see. But what about your mind? What about the third eye? Nothing. Everybody was thinking the same thing. Hell to diversity. Okay, I've said enough about this. But, if I build a company one day, I want people who really want to create, innovate, collaborate, and challenge me, and be better than me, even if I'm the one who built that company. Because if I hire you for your skills, I'm not hiring you and a quota of gender equity or race. What the fuck? We are one human race under the sun. The sun that's going down and down and down and down right now. And the hope of a renaissance at Christmas. This is what is December 25th. And if you feel offended by that because you're a Christian, well, could say the same with the Jewish who love Saturn in the sky, but that's another subject. And for the Muslim, why do you think most of the flag have a crescent? The crescent of the moon, because yes, they follow the moon, and the star is not a star, it's a planet, it's the planet Venus. We are all watching the sky. Wiki wiki. So yet, that's it. Everyone approved of that, since it was obvious that you couldn't be too careful. Don't be careful. Always grabs the opportunity if you are being invited to brainstorm. And if they don't like it, They should tell you respectfully and honestly, and everybody will have to make a choice to opting in or opting out. That's it. Don't play the game for a little bit of pain. You won't eat anyway at the end of the month. So the lack of context, too much judgment, or maybe sometimes precipitation from the consultant and the coach or those who facilitate those things. Not enough curiosity, not enough empirism. This is why we are failing as a movement, or even worse, the community of Agile. This is why, guys. Stop asking yourself on LinkedIn, Medium, or any other whatever. I'm telling you by my observation, by looking at how people, they just bring it up. Okay? And no Heidi at Agile Alliance with your boring 1998 post. We won't submit to another reimagination. Okay? 2001 might or will commence again in 2024, but not with a reimagination. Because Nolite Te Bastardes Carborundorum sicut phoenix. Don't try to decrypt this. Just listen. Just pay attention to all the people who are bored. Just listen to what I want to share with you today. An exclusive direct message, especially to my podcast audience, the largest one, the one who interact the best with me, the one who send me even perfume called Dare, because it's their real Agile. I would like to thank you and give you some reflection in what's next with another level, another way for Renaissance. Holistically, I don't care anymore of this Agile, whatever you want to call it. The Renaissance for me is for the entire civilization, for the entire society that we are partaking in. The way beyond this Agile thing. And I really walk the talk myself by having a contract outside of that realm, returning to my sources of customer experience. And I love it so much. I feel so light. So well, my dear colleagues, I am really saddened to read so much judgment and affirmation and precipitation, even in your questions when you think that you play the curious guy or girl, but you're not. I couldn't see any curiosity, even in your questions. This is not the what we are supposed to be as coaches. And it's certainly not the way we learn together, by bashing each other through ego trip. I use the word community as a whole to describe the movement that is pretty static in the last 7-10 years. Yeah, the movement of people who call themselves agilist. I am doing it sarcastically, of course, but behind each sarcasm lie 85% of truth. Where I rejoin you on your affirmation is in the who decides what is. Well, everyone and no one. The fact that being a member or a certified person of any soi-disant body of knowledge, of Scrum, like Alliance or .org, same shit to me, seems to confer a membership and thus give sense of a community. If you just want semantic, distraction, and verbiage, well, be my guest. Not for me anymore. However, when I dare real Agile with Dr. McCoy, I prefer to call out all members of all entities pretending to be the Agile community. The joke is, by doing so, we yet realize that community, network, membership, or else is so fragile. So thin and fragile. Because of the lack of common and cohesive vision or values. Or it is just the way of doing business with this. I have to admit that even myself with Agile Lounge, I was in that bandwagon. I remember when I said to my mentor, Mike, I'm going to do this Agile Lounge thing because I want people to come to a coffee with baristas. That was the project back in the day in 2015. And he said, don't call it Agile Lounge, call it something else. Don't use that A word. Yeah, I apologize. I was part of it. I had a business plan. I wanted to make business. And how real diversity be if there were only one way of Agile? Because that's the danger of this culture war right now. When I see the Scrum Alliance, the Agile Alliance, the Business Agility Institute, and all that bullshit. Even Agile Montreal, or da-da-da-da. They want to be cohesive, but it's not cohesive. And yes, agreement is important, but I cherish decentralization. And I cherish the real diversity. You couldn't say on one part of your mouth that you praise diversity and imposing on the other side of your face a kind of a oneness, cohesive, whatever thing. Cohesive value, yes, and vision, but multiple patterns adapted to the context of everything that will happen inside of your organization. I always say, when people ask me in some kind of interviews or showcases that we do to respond for work, and the question came up and they say like, do you believe in Agile Hybrid? I said no. Either you do or you do not. The flexibility lies in the context. Maybe the large-scale organization could be hybrid. They could have a PMO on one side. They could have a more innovative and agile people like thinking fast and doing Scrum. Scrum is not agile, by the way, once again. It's lean. So you could do these things if you need it, if you need to. Like the scaling. Don't scale if you don't need. And what do you scale? Your business? Do you leverage the fact that you'd like to do more revenue? You don't leverage. You don't scale the practice of something or an adjective like agile. The adjective is already there. Because you will apply this adjective of agile, you might scale your business and your revenue and making more profit. Hello? But I'm going to scale agile. I'm going to do an agile transformation and scale agile. What the fuck you talking about? You're not businessman. You're not even like an engineer. You don't think. Anyways. So, only one way of agile. This is what Heidi proposed with his reimagination. Reimagining what? More consulting way to make money out of thin air by selling that if you don't do this thing that is new and blah blah blah, there's nothing new under the sun. Okay? Those who achieved for the last 250 years and this third industrial revolution and everything. And the fourth revolution, it's a split. Okay, the fourth industrial revolution, it's a split. You will have the technocratic centralizator, agile conventionalists, and you will have the real innovator, creator, decentralized, with freedom and responsibility. Yes, responsible citizenship, openness. It's a split right now. Embrace it. That's okay. We don't need to agree on everything. We like-minded people to create cohesive vision and values, but with a way to apply it with context. That's what I want to reflect, inspect, adapt, and activate. So if you're with me, and if you like what you're hearing right now, you are part of the Renaissance. If not, be the good, consensual, conservative, one mind track, one way to do things. You put your train, the train release, the release train, you put it on a track, and the track could not move. That's not Scrum. That's not Agile. That's nothing. Okay? The real Scrum, you have different ways. You could have a track, a train. You will have a bus, a plane. Maybe you'll walk. Maybe you'll run. Maybe you'll use a catamaran. You use whatever you need. That's why Scrum, it's multiply configurable. Depend on how fast you need to be, where you need to go, what is the terrain. Do you need a Jeep or just a little Renault? Observation. Yeah. So, Agile has become the new waterfall in that sense because the big body of knowledge, those who proclaim themselves the guardian of the manifesto and what have you, and they create this clique, are no better than the big fellow PMI since 1961. Now we're going to say, since 2001, Agile Alliance is the guardian of agilemanifesto.org, which is basically mostly and only for agile software development. Have nothing to do with leadership, open patterns, the real responsibility, the civil agility, agile marketing, and name it. Agilize everything. It's easier to build a unicorn than to change a dinosaur. And after 23 some years, this, what you call a movement or a community, more and more centralized towards some kind of loosey profitability of the inflation of certification and name it, you're losing it. You're not there anymore. You are that dinosaur. And no, we won't reimagine it. Too late. I'm moving away. I'm doing something else. Okay? So let's finish this beautiful special edition of the Dairy Agile podcast, recorded the eve of Friday, December the 8th, the day of Les Lumières de Lyon, or the Lion Light, the celebration of the light, because we have the hope that in a couple of days, the sun will rise again like our phoenix here for Renaissance. So, Agile Community reference to a lost Atlantid of common ground, of using agility to promise a better world of work with smarter way of delivering value first to customers. So that was then. Now, an Agile Community is an artificial network of people that will impose upon practitioner the fact of their membership or their location. So, let me translate it into a proper English. The now Agile community, or those who proclaim that there's an Agile community out there, it's an artificial network of people who are imposed upon us, upon those people, upon the practitioner, those who do, by the fact of their membership to one of these organizations or the location they are. For instance, my home, it's Montreal. It's Montreal. And in no way, absolutely no fracking way, I feel I belong to the lame Agile Montreal community, that it's a clique of those Bastardes Carborundorum. Oh, yes. And if you are partaking of anything that this great in the sense, it's not great, but it's great, the grand shame of, because as I said in my last 2 podcasts, in French and English, I really praise individuals that are putting their time for free into this Agile Montreal community. So don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the body. I'm talking about the people behind the scene that are there for years and years. Okay? It's like Xi Jinping. It's stay there for you. So please read me well. It's not individually. I know there's good people. It's like some big company of 44,000, 88,000 people that work there. It's like the United States. It's the big méchant imperialists. Yes, but not the people. There's great people in all the 50 states. Okay? But for the purpose of the time I have with you this Friday, I'm generalizing. I'm making a constituent. But that community, I absolutely not feeling belong there. Because I've got great one-on-one with people who participate with that. But it's the people. The community, it's like, if I ask someone, what is the one thing that you don't like to eat? It's, you don't like it. And if you tell me, cilantro or pickle, like, but that's it. Okay, for me, Agile Montreal is like someone who don't like cilantro. So anyway, you get the picture. But on the other hand, I feel so much warm and welcome and even empowered by Agile Boston. And that was for years. The home of Scrum. And funny enough, I have a cousin in my family. My family is really cosmopolitan. We have Italians, we have Jew, we have Polish, we have Irish. That's the thing. Pointe Saint-Charles, the Jolly of Pointe Saint-Charles. They're all Bruins. Not Saint Flanel, not Montreal Canadian. So that's the funny thing. But it's more to that. Because, as I said, that's the people at the core and their interaction that make it happen. So with Agile Montreal, it's kind of confusing because I've got a lot of people who I really love and appreciate that partake on it. They try to do something. But they see it. They are critic. They are critic and how much agile that community of practice is. And they do a lot of anti-patterns. They do a lot of, even the description of some meetup, it's kind of hilarious how they won't pass the exam of PSM. For those who choose Scrum. So anyways, and I had my own experience. I give chances. And at the bottom of this, 13 some years after, fuck it. Because I had a better experience with the people who lead and participate at Agile Boston. And even there is not perfect too. There's people who I don't fuck off. But that's the thing. Diversity, real diversity. You don't have to agree with everyone. But you need... So, if I don't like cucumber, and I go to a place that they just pickle everywhere, shit, I'm not happy. So, here's the thing. And, I am a Scrum Alliance member for, since 2008, certified since 2016, because the market was forcing me to take that certification, even with my experience, proven experience, record. So yes, I'm a member of Scrum Alliance. And more, this is strictly transactional. Yeah. I pay. I maintain my certification. I do some volunteering. I maintain my Scrum education unit. I did create a Scrum beer by myself, by the way, but as they saw it, at some point, they decide to get involved in it, and they pay for the meetup fee and stuff like this. Okay, thank you very much. But it's transactional. Because I will say, since probably 2018, I've seen that fall in terms of the value and the pattern that they propose next to it. So, anyways. And I saw a lot of people that I used to like in the administration body of this Scrum Alliance. They left because they disagreed on how they will manage the membership. Okay? And when we start calling them out about improving the CST delivery, CST is the Certified Scrum Trainer, those who are able to say, yes, you pass the course, and then here's your key to the exam, and good luck, champion. But what happened after? And they don't teach any Scrum Master to be really confronting the real world and also being an advisor to the leadership of any organization. So that's why we saw, especially in Europe and in Canada, in Quebec, the evolution of the grandeur of a Scrum Master. The Scrum Master became a Jira ticket master. Yeah. A secretary of Agile project manager, of release train engineer. Yeah. Because Scrum Alliance didn't do his job. They just want a transaction. It's like the union in the 1980s. They were not needed in some space, but just for the transaction and making money. Like Heidi at Agile Alliance, she wanted to reimagine Agile, and she surrendered herself with some co-sanitary. Yeah, well, me too. It doesn't give me more power because Mike was my mentor or that I get along well with Jeff and Ken. I disagree with them, even with Mike, on so many points. That's not the point. The point is, if it's strictly transactional, you're not a community. You're not even a network or a membership thing or whatever. So anyways, it's like being a blockchain and a Bitcoin adopter since 2009. Does that make me part of a crypto graphic or a cryptocurrency community? Don't think so. So that might be to be continued. Maybe in a Renaissance Agora, because I'm an agorism. Okay? This is an incredible invitation. Will you accept it? On that, remember who you really are. You are wonderful. You are powerful. And you are free to be whoever you want it to be and to do whatever you want it to do, but in respect of one another. Happy weekend.